How's it going, Hardwood fans? Welcome to episode 5 of this season of Hardwood Heroes. We are now into the second half of the season with just 4 episodes left, and the action is heating up. The race for the TVC regular season titles is over for all divisions but one, and the postseason is almost here for the girls. It's so much action that you don't want to miss. Without any more waiting, let's tip it off. Just like each show, we have our reporters keeping you up to date with each of our teams. And Tommy and Taylor, my online hosts, don't just unveil their Heroes of the Week. With the postseason coming up, they have who they think are the contenders and the pretenders in the TVC. Now on to the standings. Starting off with the girls in the TVC Ohio, the Vinton County Lady Vikings has had that title for a while now, but they finished perfect in conference at 12-0. Alexander and NY finished the season tied in second place. Behind them in fourth is Meigs. The Athens Lady Bulldogs took down Wellston to tie at 3-9 in conference, and River Valley ended their conference season winless. Moving to the Ohio boys, the Vinton County Vikings cut down those nets Friday night as they clinched their TVC Ohio title. Alexander and Athens, as of Saturday morning, are tied in second place at 8-3, and Nelsonville-York is at the bottom with just one conference win on the year. To the girls of the Hocking, like Vinton County, Waterford finished their conference season perfect as well, them at 16-0. With this title, the seniors on that Waterford team swept the Hocking in their entire high school careers with a title every year and not a single conference loss. Now that is the definition of dominance, people. Back to this year, Federal Hocking finished at second with a 13-3 conference record, and Eastern at third, one game back of the Lady Lancers at 12-4. To the only division with the title not determined, the Hocking boys. The Trimble boys are currently lone at first with an 11-2 conference record. Southern and Waterford are tied for second place as they split games with each other earlier in the season, and Eastern sits in 7th place. At the bottom is the Federal Hocking Lancers with a 2-12 record. And while we are on the verge of the postseason, there's a young lady in Nelsonville that's on the verge of history. And I'm with reporter Nate Busilla, who says he's got some history for us.
Nick, do you know the significance of the year 1967?
No, what's that, Nate?
Well, it was the year that Nelsonville and York High Schools first consolidated, meaning that it has been 50 years. And in that time period, only one other player has balled out quite like Jessie Addis has. Her name? Kim Klein, and in 2009, she set the school's all-time scoring record with 1,514 career points. Today, Jessie Addis sits just 3 points behind her. She may be one of the best when it comes to getting buckets, but as a 4-year starter, it's Jessie's attitude and leadership that elevates the play of everyone on the hardwood. She's crafty, tenacious, and she leaves all she's got on the court every night. Monday night, her game-winning basket and 18-point effort helped her finish her career 8-0 against Meigs. Although the Lady Buckeyes dropped their final regular season game to Alexander, I think it'll light a fire within them once the postseason begins. Tipping off at 8 in Jackson on Thursday, the 6th seed Lady Buckeyes will face Crooksville for the 3rd straight year, winning both previous meetings. I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of Mary-Kate McCullough in this one. She's taken somewhat of a backseat in lieu of Addis's record-breaking pursuit. When both Mary and Jessie are on, whew, this team is fun to watch, Nick.
So now on to the boys. Now that roller coaster of a season that we have talked about for the boys, have they gotten out of it yet?
Well, they may have gotten off the roller coaster, but instead they have hopped on the drop zone. While the drop zone in itself is a fun ride, I don't think the Buckeyes have been enjoying themselves very much. This week they dropped games at River Valley and Vinton County and have lost 8 in a row. They need a spark from someone, somewhere, whether it be from Braden Allen throwing one down, Jonathan Richards flying around the rim for an up and under score, or Justin Perry launching one deep for 3. This team has got to find some enjoyment. I'd like to see some more dribble penetration as it can open up many opportunities for them. It could lead to a score at the rim, a kick out for an open 3, or a foul that gets them on the charity stripe.
Yeah, it would be huge. It would be huge for this team to be able to pick up one more win, before the postseason. Well, I hope they have some momentum going in the postseason. Now, thanks for the great word, Nate. Now we head over to Albany, where the Alexander Lady Spartans, they just fell short of the TVC Ohio title, and I'm joined by lead reporter Maggie Shandrick for an update.
Nick, you're right. They did fall short of the title this year, but this team is more than just a team. They are a family. They take the court together and leave the court together no matter the outcome of the game. A tradition the Lady Spartans do in their huddles is every person holds their hand in the I love you sign. They even have this symbol on most of their team gear. But one person that is special to this team and has made an impact this year is senior Liz Haining. This is Liz's first year playing high school basketball. And during Monday's senior night, Coach Grinstead specifically set up a play to get Liz a shot.
And I'm going to tell you what, she has been a blessing for our team. She comes every day with a big smile on her face. You know, I had to have the tough conversation. Liz, listen, you're a senior. If you want to play much, I'm going to have to put you on the JV team because you've never played. She's like, Coach, you put me wherever. I just want to be part of this team. I just want to play basketball. And the rest was kind of history from there. The rest of the team loves her.
Now, those are the kinds of stories that we love seeing in high school sports. But about the boys, what's their story?
After that tough overtime loss to Vinton County last week, the Spartans bounced back with a 57-50 victory over the Meigs Marauders. Alexander got off to a slow start against Meigs' 1-3-1 defense and went into the locker room at halftime down 26-25. But shots started falling in the second half and the Spartans took the lead with 5:11 left in the third quarter on a Luke Kish three-pointer and never trailed again. Meigs cut the lead to as close as 3 points with just 45 seconds left in the game, but crucial free throws from Kish and Stone Markins Irwin sealed the victory for the Spartans. Ryan Davidson and Kish both had 13 points and Markins Irwin brought in 9. Wednesday's game against Crooksville was rescheduled for the second time this season, once again due to bad weather. But on Friday night, the Spartans took down Wilson 61-29.
Yeah, it sounds like, looks like the boys, they have 2 more games at Jackson and 1 at Athens to finish their regular season. It'll be fun to see what happens in the postseason for them. Thanks, Maggie. Snapchat shook the world with their recent update. So while you're on there figuring out how to use it, add us with the username Hardwood Heroes. We have reporters sent out with our Snapchat to games during the week, and you get to see behind-the-scenes footage of us getting ready for our show as well. Now it's time to see what's going on in MacArthur, and to help with that, we turn to the dynamic duo that is the Vinton County lead reporters, Catherine Morey and Jerry Curvin.
Nick, the Lady Vikings got exactly what they wanted this week. Easy wins. The girls steamrolled Marietta 73-39 on Monday. Seniors Darian Radabaugh, Cassie Bentley, and Aaron Jones lit up River Valley 78-29 on senior night.
Yeah, somebody obviously left the white flags at home those nights because there was no letting up for the Vikings. This team is ruthless and with an 18-1 record, they look primed for the playoffs.
The playoffs. My favorite time of the season, and like you said, Jerry, the Lady Vikings are in perfect position to make some noise this postseason. Their dominance this year has earned them a great reputation. The girls have the most high-powered offense in the TVC Ohio, and teams will struggle to keep up. Cassie Bentley inches closer to her 1,000th point, Morgan Bentley continues to be a walking bucket, and their depth all around is something that can contribute.
You stay spitting facts, Kat, but I got a couple of my own. The Vikings defense is one of the stingiest in southeastern Ohio. The girls have held opponents under 50 13 times, 9 of those times were under 40, and 5 of those times were under 30. It's going to be mighty hard to keep up with a team that halts his offense every time they face.
Well, you certainly have a point there, Jerry. The boys also had important games this week. The Vikings had an up-and-down week after they lost to Chillicothe 76-60 on Tuesday.
But Catherine, that loss on Tuesday didn't really hurt the conference rankings. However, it did give the Vikings a chance to play in a playoff-like atmosphere.
You're right about that, but let's talk about the 71-64 win over Nelsonville-York Friday night. Vinton County avenged its early season loss to NY on senior night. The win secured their spot in the TVC Ohio. Jake Speakman went down with a tailbone injury in the first half, but the Vikings rallied to close out the game. The win secures Vinton County's 3rd consecutive TVC title.
Now, we can't forget another amazing accomplishment that happened that night. Nayland Yates scored his 1,000th point in the 3rd quarter, and we caught up with him after the game.
I'll remember it forever, but what I remember the most is this obviously the senior night and TVC championship with our team. And that's the most important thing tonight. To get another championship, and really, that's hard work paying off.
Hey, congratulations to Vinton County for both of their teams cutting down the nets and winning the TVC Ohio title. Hey, it must be a good time to be a Viking. Thanks, you two. Moving on from MacArthur out to Stewart, Federal Hocking lead reporter Will Collins is with me now to break down another week of Lancer basketball. Nick,
It was a good week of Lancer basketball for the ladies, who finished their regular season and finished second in the Hocking, but as we know, for the boys, it was a different story. In their first game this week, the Lancers traveled to Trimble to take on Randy Hickson and the Hocking leading Tomcats, and they struggled from the tip-off. The Lancers struggled to get shots to fall early, and their defense had a hard time keeping up with Trimble's fast-paced offense, falling 58-34 in this contest. In this contest, Fed Hawk was outplayed on the glass and were having a hard time getting key rebounds on offense and defense, which is something that the Lancers have had issues with at different parts of the season. Besides rebounding, Federal Hocking has once again fallen victim to the turnover bug. The Lancers' offensive flow has been disrupted by a lack of ball security late in the season. Something to highlight, though, this year is the consistent play of the younger members of this Lancer team. Freshman Nate Massey, Hunter Smith, and Colin Jarvis, along with sophomore Brad Russell, have made some big contributions to this team. This team has a bright future with these young guys starting to come into their own on the court.
Yeah, it looks like the boys, they have some issues to correct before the tournament rolls around. How did the girls fare this week?
In their only game of the week, the Lady Lancers took down the Miller Lady Falcons in their final Hocking matchup of the season, 53-36. They had a game also scheduled to be played at New Lexington on Thursday that was postponed. The Lady Lancers were able to finish their season strong, heading into tournament time with a statement win over the Eastern Lady Eagles, and their win against Miller, finishing second in the Hocking with a 13-3 record. I was able to talk to Coach Jeremy Tolson last week after their win against Eastern, and he was able to give me a little more insight about the playoffs.
I really felt like it was between Eastern and us for the 2 seed. You know, they got us earlier in the year, but I feel like a late win with the style which we did it. I think we probably should earn a 2 seed in my opinion. I don't know how it'll fall.
Well, the Lady Lancers have earned the 2nd seed in the sectional tournament and will play the winner of St. Joseph and South Gallia on February 17th at Meigs High School. Yeah. And the boys will now play 3 games in 4 days.
Excuse me, by the way. We'll be watching out for those Lady Lancers in the playoffs. Thanks for the good work, Will. As Nate mentioned earlier, it was a close game for the Meigs Lady Marauders and Nelsonville-York Lady Buckeyes. A tough battle that included a game-winning shot. I have Meigs lead reporter Joe Hennessy on desk with me to recap the game. So, Joe, did anything go right in this loss for Meigs?
Well, for the Lady Marauders, they played tough all night, constantly back and forth with NY, but they missed a couple free throws at the end of the game to take the lead, and that's what killed them, as they would lose a really close battle 52-51. Jesse Addis and Cassidy Betzing always seem to go at each other a little more aggressive than other opponents, and I think that shows how this game was played. Betzing would finish with 17 points and added in 9 rebounds. Now, at this next play, we're going to break down what exactly the Lady Marauders were doing right. As you can see here, Madison Fields and Maddie Hendricks were passing the ball to get the zone moving back and forth. Betzing then stays in the middle, gets the ball, goes to the open spot, puts up the uncontested shot, and it goes in. This would help her find open shooters later in the game, and she's so good in the mid-range, but against NY, her shots weren't falling. At the end of the game, Marissa Noble hit 2 clutch threes, and the momentum was going their way. Then Becca Paulins had a chance at the line, and Betzing as well after an and 1, but they missed the free throws. As a team, they were 2 of 5 from the line. Addis came up big on that last free throw attempt to get the win, as Nate said earlier.
Yeah, it's playoff time for them now as they're going in at 10-12 overall and 6-6 in conference. They have a couple more games before the state tournament. Now, what's up with the boys?
Well, the boys faced off against the Alexander Spartans, as Maggie said earlier. And yeah, just a couple more games to clean up and keep moving forward. They've been doing that all season, though, and they are finding their stride. I had a coach in high school when I played that said you don't want to be playing your best basketball in November or December. You want to be playing your best in February into March, and that's what the Meigs Marauders are doing. They have won the last 7 of 10 and behind Weston Bear's athleticism, Zach Bartram's IQ. They can stir some things up. They lost to Alexander, but those two combined had 42 of their team's 50 points. As Meg said earlier, that 1-3-1 zone was causing mistakes. They just need to find their way in the fourth to pull away from teams. But again, behind the double Bs of Bear and Bartram, the Meigs Marauders can find success going into playoff time.
Yeah, the boys, as we know, they're seeing big improvements since the beginning of the season, and as you said, the momentum is in their favor going into the postseason, and yeah, we definitely need to watch out for those double Bs. Thanks, Joe. Each week we have limited time to talk about every team we cover, but it's a good thing that the internet is a thing that exists. Go to woub.org/heroes to find all of the latest news for your favorite teams. Written and video recaps and footage of the games we attended are all loaded on there, so don't miss out. Let's move on back to the hardwood. Waterford lead reporter Nick Mullins joins me now.
Yeah, Nick, it's always a blast getting on desk with you. I have a fun little Lady Wildcats segment, but first we're going to break down the boys' road to another conference crown. This conference race is going to come down to the wire. Waterford lost at a buzzer against Southern last week, knocking them out of first, but it's not over just yet. Trimble and Waterford had games canceled earlier this season, so they face off the 16th and the 20th. It's all going to come down to this, and we're going to find out who will come up big. Now, Nick, I decided to head over to Waterford to bring you an insight on what it's like to play hoops with Allie and Megan.
What's up, Hardwood Nation? I'm out here in Waterford, Ohio, and I have two bucket getters, 2,000-point scorers, Megan Ball and Allie Kern. Now we're gonna have a little bit of fun and play a little game of pig with a slight twist to it. Now, anytime I can get a letter on either one of these two, we're gonna do a little Q&A. So let's get this thing started. Ah, come on, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night.
It's in.
Oh, let's go. Give me those buckets. How's it feel to get a letter so early on and stay against me?
Absolutely sucks.
Oh, that's filthy. I think I'm getting a letter right here.
We get to ask you a question? Do you think you're going to win?
A chance of winning. Oh, 100%.
Oh.
Oh, come on now, Allie. Oh, my Lord. I'm about to get another question. Oh, no. Come on.
How's it feel to be losing to two high school girls?
Demoralizing. Deep shot. Oh, my God. If I remember this one. No, I know how I'm Oh, no. All right. I'm calling that I get another chance with the whole letter, so I sort of pee again. Starting me to pee again.
Starting me to pee again.
I'm a little demoralized, but I can see why they haven't lost a game in conference their entire career. But that's not all. Catch the full version on our YouTube page, Game 1 2.0. But now watch me get those letters back, and all I can say is I beat them that time.
Yeah, Nick, thanks for the breakdown, and you might need to work on your jumper a little bit, but hey, well, thank you anyway. Now the Trimble boys, they are at the top of the Hocking, and momentum is on their side. We have Trimble reporters Samantha Wiesneth and Melody Brewer on side set to talk about those Tomcats.
Nick, the Tomcats are on a 7-game win streak, and they only have 4 games left in the regular season.
That may be true, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Tomcats played twice this week, and there is a lot to talk about. On Tuesday night, Trimble fought off the Federal Hocking Lancers with a final score of 58-34.
The Lancers struggled to keep up with the Tomcats all night. Trimble's top scorer was none other than Randy Hickson.
Yeah, Sam. I don't think anyone was surprised by that one. He put up a total of 24 points, and 16 of them were in the first quarter alone.
That's pretty impressive, but let's not forget about Max Hooper. He had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals.
Speaking of Max Hooper, he played a pretty great game Friday too. The Tomcats took down the Miller Falcons with a final score of 74-59.
Melody, the score doesn't show it, but that game was back and forth all night, and both teams laid it all on the court. The crowd was going crazy, and you could feel the energy in the room.
Absolutely. And once again, Max Hooper proved to be a key player for the Trimble with 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And as usual, Randy Hickson racked up a ton of points for the Tomcats, scoring 27.
They may have been the top scorers on Friday night, but the whole team contributed to the Tomcats' victory. Cam Kittle had 9 rebounds, and Brandon Weber and Bryce Richards were putting points on the board all night long.
Yeah, teamwork was a key component in the win against Miller and will definitely help them moving forward. And with all those big names, there's no wonder that they're at the top of the TVC Hocking with an overall record of 14-4.
It sounds like the Tomcats that are heading into their final few regular season games with a lot of momentum. Thanks for the updates, ladies. This week, our social media gurus sent out polls for you fans to share your opinion, and the message was well received. To win the Hocking, the Trimble Tomcats are the fans' favorite at 54% of the votes, and in the TVC Ohio, the Vinton County Lady Vikings haven't gotten out of the sectionals in the postseason recently, but the fans think this is their year. It was a close vote, but 53% think the Lady Vikings have what it takes. Hey, and we have more coming up for the polls coming up later in the show, so make sure you stay tuned and you don't want to miss them. Now out to Reedsville, where we saw both Eagles teams go 50% during the week. Our producer Molly Kennedy has come out of retirement to talk to us about Eastern's predicament.
This week, the Lady Eagles went 1-1, defeating Southern Monday night and losing to Waterford this past Thursday with a score of 63-48. Thursday night was also senior night for Caitlin Hawk, Madison Williams, and Elizabeth Collins. With emotions and adrenaline pumping, the Lady Eagles were able to keep the Lady Wildcats within 1 point for the first half, making way for Collins down low and for Williams rebounding left and right. Junior Allison Bailey once again had a strong defensive night against Waterford, coming away with 9 turnovers and sending it up to Collins, who collected 14 for the night. After the half, the Lady Wildcats began pressing Eastern into tough spots, forcing turnovers that they could easily take advantage of. The Lady Eagles were able to hold on up until the end as they once again fell to the team number 1 in the state. The Eastern boys have shown that they can compete with anyone in the TVC Hocking, snagging a remarkable victory over Waterford a few weeks back. However, they are still lacking that consistency when competing with the top dogs, as we saw them drop to the Southern Tornadoes Friday night. Sophomore Garrett Behringer and junior Isaiah Fish showed up against Southern, proving themselves to be the future of this Eagle squad. These two took control, considering senior Caleb Hill was in foul trouble. For this young Eagle team, they need to knock down free throws within the paint and continue to keep up their solid defense if they want to make a run in the postseason.
Yeah, by the looks of it, the ladies are looking at a solid stretch before running into Waterford, and the boys need to step up their strength in the paint to make their way in the tournament. Thanks for that analysis, Molly. Now, there is no hotter team in our coverage right now than the Athens Bulldogs. They came into this week with a 5-game win streak, and Athens lead reporter Nick Ursini joins me on desk to recap the Bulldogs' week.
Athens' 5-game winning streak began with a victory at Meigs. Tuesday night, they had the chance to play their first home game in 25 days. Their opponent, the second-place Wellston Golden Rockets. Wellston and Athens had an instant classic early in January, with Wellston winning by just 1 point, but this one was a completely different story. The Bulldogs shot 65% from the field. They scored 40 points on turnovers. They jumped out to a 17-14 lead at the end of the first, and that lead only increased. Athens' defense continues to step up since their winning streak began. They allowed 25 points in the first half and only 13 in the second. Their offense, well, that continues to excel with 88 points for a 50-point victory over then second-place Wellston. The boys continued right where they left off with their matchup against the River Valley Raiders. The Bulldogs jumped out to a 23-14 lead at the end of the first thanks to 12 points from Logan Maxfield, and only increased en route to a 67-46 victory. Nick, their offense and defense is on fire. They're playing in sync, trusting each other, and draining shots. A 7-game win streak as of Saturday morning, with a big matchup at home against Alexander next Friday.
Yeah, the Athens boys, they still have a chance at that TVC Ohio regular season crown, although people might not have thought after that rocky start. Now the girls, they came into this week on a 2-game winning streak. How did they finish out their regular season?
The girls, they ran into a buzzsaw called the Alexander Lady Spartans. They ended their winning streak with a 67-28 victory over the Lady Bulldogs, but Athens got right back in the win column with a big win over Wellston. Athens was down 7-2 in the first quarter before going on a 14-0 run to end the first quarter up 16-7. Wellston's full court press could not stop Athens from pushing the ball up the floor and beating Wellston back for easy shots. Junior Kaylee Stewart and sophomore Laura Mandrick led Athens with 19 points for Stewart and 17 for Mandrick. Athens' defense also stepped up, allowing just 44 points. The turnovers, they've been plaguing Athens the entire season. Against Wellston, they turned the ball over just 9 times. Now, Nick, that might seem like a lot, but Athens is averaging around 20 turnovers per game. They need to keep their turnovers at a minimum when they face the Sheridan Generals in the first round of the postseason. Sheridan is 17-3. A team of their caliber will be a big challenge for the Lady Bulldogs.
The Sheridan Generals. Now that's a team that we are familiar with from Gridiron Glory, but we don't really get to see them in terms of basketball that much. Now we'll see if Athens Lady Bulldogs, if they're ready for it. Thanks for the great update, Nick. All right, so you saw our Twitter polls earlier in the show, but we're going to bring them back here with our online hosts, Taylor Nimmo and Tommy Garvick. They are here with a new segment, Pretenders or Contenders.
Nick, I know it's only February, but I'm already looking into March. Who's going to make that deep run? I'm talking a sectional, district, or even a state title.
What teams are among the elite? That's what we decide, if a team is a contender or a pretender. But before we head into playoff talk, the race in the Hocking is very tight.
Yeah, that's right. There's no room to breathe. 3 teams are separated by a game. Taylor, who you got?
You've got Trimble, Waterford, and Southern all right there. This is a hard one, but I think I'm going to go with the Tomcats as contenders in the Hocking. And I'll tell you why I say that. Randy Hickson is consistent. He has been all season long, and that is what separates contenders and pretenders come playoff time.
Taylor, you're off to a good start. I mentioned earlier Tomcats 53% favorites to win the Hocking.
Over in the Ohio, Tommy, the Vinton County Lady Vikings ran the table, and they're still searching for their first ever sectional title.
And Taylor, I think this is the team to make that happen, so they are a contender, and you want to know why? Morgan Bentley, her and her sister Cassie have formed the filthiest 1-2 combo in the TVC Ohio, and I think they will carry this Lady Viking team all the way to regional final. Yeah, you heard me, Taylor.
And the fans, they're hearing you too, Tommy. They agreed with you. It was close. As Nick said earlier, 53% of the people think this is the Lady Vikings' year.
What can I say? Me and Hardwood Nation are always in sync. Anyways, for the Waterford girls, it's championship or bust.
Yeah, Tommy, these girls are contenders. They've got the talent. Girls like Megan Ball, Rachel Adams, Allie Kern. They've got that magic ingredient that's a recipe for success, and that's their team dynamic. They're team players, and that's why I'm saying the only thing left on the menu for Waterford is a championship win.
Man, the fans are loving us, Taylor. 71% say the Wildcats will make their 4th straight appearance in the state title game.
Seems like we're on the same page there, but what about when it comes to the boys in the TVC Ohio? What do you got for us, Tommy?
My boy Jake Speakman is not going to be happy with me, but this year's Viking team is a pretender. That's hard for me to say when you look at the makeup of this team, Taylor. 7 seniors, 2 guys who can go toe-to-toe with anyone like Speakman and Nayland Yates. 3-point shooters out the wazoo, but there's just something missing with this team. And I think it has a lot to do with losing the firepower of Tristan Bartow and Derek Jones, 2 guys who are difficult to replace.
Yeah, expectations have to be tempered with this team. And again, unbelievable, Tommy. The fans are on your side. Once again, 71% say the Vikings will have an earlier exit this year. And that's all we've got for you, Nick. But we'll see if our predictions stay true come tournament time.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who cuts down the nets come tournament time. If I had to call this segment a contender or pretender, I'd for sure say contender. That was awesome, guys. But I can't quite shake you guys yet. Oh, well, I guess you'll be giving us the Heroes of the Week now. Now, you better not disappoint me.
Oh, come on, Nick. You can never get enough of us, my man. I know it gets lonely up there.
Yeah, I'm kind of hurt right now. You said week 1 we were the best online host you could ask for. Anyways, you said not to disappoint, so we will deliver. And Tommy, you've been going nuts for your hero.
I have, and fun fact, Taylor, my favorite kind of nut is a Buckeye, and I like my Buckeyes straight out of Nelsonville. That's why my hero of the week is Jessie Addis. And as Nate mentioned earlier, she's 3 points away from becoming the all-time leading scorer in NY history. So I'll give you my top 3 things that make her so special. Number 1, vision. It's the best I've seen in a long time. I mean, this is insane what she does. She's throwing passes across her body and 50 feet down the court. It's very rare that you see that. Number 2, speed and explosiveness. She has the quickest first step in our coverage. It amazes me that she can blow by anyone when she wants to. She shifts into a whole nother gear. And number 3, body control. She plays fast, but she stays under control, and when she beats you to the rim, she finishes too. We already saw this play, but it was so good, I want to show it again. It's been a pleasure seeing her mature as a player, and hopefully her last game isn't against Crooksville on Thursday. And our boys hero is someone we'll be missing seeing too.
Yeah, we certainly will, Tommy. Our boys hero of the week this week is coming out of Vinton County. Nayland Yates, this week's hero of the week, put up 24 points this week against Nelsonville-York. Now talk about a senior night for this guy. He's going out with a bang. Not only did he walk away with a TVC Ohio Conference title, he became the newest member of an elite club. Nayland Yates reaching 1,000 points. Talk about a momentum going into the playoffs, Tommy.
And honestly, for Nayland, hey, congrats on committing to OU. We'll see you in the green and white next fall, my man.
Yeah, talk about a huge week for Nayland, a commitment and hero of the week. Now, best of luck in the future. Now, I guess you guys lived up to the expectations, so I got to thank you guys as always. Now, that's all we have for the show. And once again, you don't have to wait for next week to stay updated with all TVC. Go to our online content. Now, as always, I'm Nick Niehaus reminding you to be heroic.